Then they challenged a Korean Go champion.
Please start the game.
And they were able to win both times in kind of striking fashion.
You were reading articles in the New York Times years ago talking about how Go would take 100 years for us to solve.
People said, well, you know, but that's still just a board. Poker is an art. Poker involves reading people. Poker involves lying and bluffing. It's not an exact thing. That will never be, a computer. You can't do that. They took the best poker players in the world and took 7 days for the computer to start demolishing the humans. So it's the best poker player in the world. It's the best Go player in the world. And the pattern here is that AI might take a little while to wrap its tentacles around a new skill. But when it does, when it gets it, it is unstoppable.
DeepMind's AI has administrator-level access to Google's servers to optimize energy usage at the data centers. However, this could be an unintentional Trojan horse. DeepMind has to have complete control of the data centers, so with a little software update, that AI could take complete control of the whole Google system, which means they can do anything. They can look at all your data, you can do anything. We're rapidly headed towards digital superintelligence that far exceeds any human. I think it's very obvious.
The problem is, we're not going to suddenly hit human-level intelligence and say, okay, let's stop research. It's going to go beyond human-level intelligence into what's called superintelligence, and that's anything smarter than us.
AI at the superhuman level, if we succeed with that, will be by far the most powerful invention we've ever made, and the last invention we ever have to make. And if we create AI that's smarter than us, we have to be open to the possibility that we might actually lose control to them.
Let's say you give it some objective, like curing cancer, and then you discover that the way it chooses to go about that is actually in conflict with a lot of other things you care about.
AI doesn't have to be evil to destroy humanity. If AI has a goal and humanity just happens to be in the way, it will destroy humanity as a matter of course, without even thinking about it. No hard feelings. It's just like if we're building a road and an anthill happens to be in the way, we don't hate ants. We're just building a road. And so goodbye anthill.
It's tempting to dismiss these concerns because it's like something that might happen in a few decades or 100 years. So why worry?
But if you go back to September 11th, 1933, Ernest Rutherford, who was the most well-known nuclear physicist of his time, said that the possibility of ever extracting useful amounts of energy from the transmutation of atoms, as he called it, was moonshine. The next morning, Leo Szilard, who was a much younger physicist, read this and got really annoyed and figured out how to make a nuclear chain reaction just a few months later.
We have spent more than $2 billion on the greatest scientific gamble in history.
So when people say that, oh, this is so far off in the future, we don't have to worry about it, it might only be 3, 4 breakthroughs of that magnitude that will get us from here to superintelligent machines.
If it's going to take 20 years to figure out how to keep AI beneficial, then we should start today, not at the last second when some dudes drinking Red Bull decide to flip the switch and test the thing.
We have 5 years. I think digital superintelligence will happen in my lifetime. 100%.
When this happens, it will be surrounded by a bunch of people who are really just excited about the technology. They want to see it succeed, but they're not anticipating that it can get out of control.
Oh my God, I trust my computer so much. That's an amazing question.
I don't trust my computer. If it's on, I take it off. Like, even when it's off, I still think it's on. Like, you know, like, you really cannot, like, the webcams, you don't know if, like, someone might turn it on. You don't know, like.
I don't trust my computer. Like, in my phone, every time they ask, we send your information to Apple. Every time I not trust my phone.
Okay, so part of it is yes, I do trust it because it would be really hard to get through the day and the way our world is set up without computers.
Trust is such a human experience. I have a patient coming in with intracranial aneurysm. They want to look in my eyes and know that they can trust this person with their life.
I'm not horribly concerned about anything.
Good.
Part of that is because I have confidence in you.
This procedure we're doing today, 20 years ago, was essentially impossible. We just didn't have the materials and the technologies. Get on that corner. Could it be any more difficult? My God. So the coil is barely in there right now. It's just a feather holding it in. It's nervous time. We're just in purgatory, intellectual, humanistic purgatory. An AI might know exactly what to do here. We got the coil into the aneurysm, but it wasn't in tremendously well that I knew that it would stay. So with a maybe 20% risk of a very bad situation, I elected to just bring her back. Because of my relationship with her and knowing the difficulties of coming in and having the procedure, I consider things when I should only consider the safest possible route to achieve success. But I had to stand there for 10 minutes agonizing about it. The computer feels nothing. The computer just does what it's supposed to do, better and better. I want to be AI in this case. But can AI be compassionate? I mean, it's everybody's question about AI. We are the sole embodiment of humanity. And it's a stretch for us to accept that a machine can be compassionate and loving in that way. Part of me doesn't believe in magic, but part of me has faith that there is something beyond the sum of the parts. That there is at least a oneness in our shared ancestry, our shared biology, our shared history. Some connection there beyond machine. So then you have the other side of that is, does the computer know it's conscious, or can it be conscious, or does it care? Does it need to be conscious? Does it need to be aware?
I do not think that a robot could ever be conscious, unless they programmed it that way.
Conscious? No.
No. No.
I mean, I think a robot could be programmed to be conscious. How are they programmed to do everything else?
That's another big part of artificial intelligence, is to make them conscious and make them feel.
Back in 2005, we started trying to build machines with self-awareness. This robot, to begin with, didn't know what it was. All he knew is that it needed to do something like walk. Through trial and error, it figured out how to walk using its imagination, and then it walked away. And then we did something very cruel. We chopped off a leg and watched what happened. In the beginning, it didn't quite know what had happened, but over about a period of a day, it then began to limp. And then a year ago, we were training an AI system for a live demonstration. We wanted to show how we wave all these objects in front of the camera and the AI can recognize the objects. And so we're preparing this demo, and we had on the side screen this ability to watch what certain neurons were responding to. And suddenly we noticed that one of the neurons was tracking faces. It was tracking our faces as we were moving around. Now, the spooky thing about this is that we never trained the system to recognize human faces. And yet, somehow, it learned to do that. Even though these robots are very simple, we can see there's something else going on there. It's not just programmed. So this is just the beginning.
I often think about that beach in Kitty Hawk, the 1903 flight by Orville and Wilbur Wright. It was a kind of a canvas plane and some wood and iron, and it gets off the ground for, what, a minute and 20 seconds on this windy day before touching back down again. And it was just around 65 summers or so after that moment that you have a 747 taking off from JFK. Where a major concern of someone on the airplane might be whether or not their salt-free diet meal is going to be coming to them or not. With a whole infrastructure, with travel agents and tower control, and it's all casual, and it's all part of the world. Right now, as far as we've come with machines that can solve problems, we're at Kitty Hawk now. We're in the wind, we have our tattered canvas planes up in the air. But what happens in 65 summers or so, we will have machines that are beyond human control. Should we worry about that? I'm not sure it's going to help.
Nobody has any idea today what it means for a robot to be conscious. There is no such thing. There are a lot of smart people, and I have a great deal of respect for them. But the truth is, machines are natural psychopaths.
Fear came back into the market. And down 800, nearly 1,000 in a heartbeat. I mean, it is classic capitulation. There are some people who are proposing there was some kind of fat finger error.
Take the flash crash of 2010. In a matter of minutes, $1 trillion in value was lost in the stock market.
The Dow dropped nearly 1,000 points in a half hour.
So what went wrong? By that point in time, more than 60% of all the trades that took place on the stock exchange were actually being initiated by computers.
There's panic selling on the way down, and all of a sudden it just stopped on a dime. All happening in real time, folks.
The short story of what happened in the flash crash is that algorithms responded to algorithms, and it compounded upon itself over and over and over again in a matter of minutes.
At one point, the market fell as if down a well.
There is no regulatory body that can adapt quickly enough to prevent potentially disastrous consequences of AI operating in our financial systems. They are so prime for manipulation.
Let's talk about the speed with which we are watching this market deteriorate.
That's the type of AI run amok that scares people.